So let's now, first of all, focus on the diagram on the left over here. So this will be the general definition for the so-called search property. And then we're going to use this example tree over here to illustrate to you exactly how to check the search property recursively. And for every internal nodes, so this is not necessarily the absolute root of the tree. It can be any internal node. So think about this one over here is like an internal node. Okay, so let me just highlight it. This could be any internal node. Any internal node. And then we are trying to identify two subtrees because it's a binary tree. So the first one will be the left subtree. Oh, you know what? Let me use green. So this will be the left subtree, as you can see, for the left subtree over here. And for the left subtree, every node in this particular tree, starting from the root and all the way down to the bottom for this subtree, every element there must be such that the key of the node in the left subtree must be strictly less than the key of the internal nodes that we're talking about. Symmetrically, the right subtree, which I'm going to use maybe pink over here. So this will be the right subtree over here. And the property will be such that for every node in the right subtree, including the root, starting from here, all the way down to the bottom, every node over here. And it should be such that the key of every node in this right subtree must be strictly larger than the key of this root over here. So that'll be the definition that should be applied recursively to every internal nodes. Let's see how we can apply this to the example tree. So let's say this one here, right? And of course, you may just want to do the exercise. I'll give you some time to, I'll give you the chance to pause the video. Why don't we do the in order traversal first? Okay. Why don't you pause the video right now? And oh, by the way, let me give you a little bit heads up quickly. And I'm going to mention that also with a bullet point in the slides. You would see we got actually nodes over here when we don't really need to know about the data value for the algorithm design or illustration. We only put just the key value over here. Right, let me just mention that quickly. So this one over here is just the key value. It's not the data value. Okay, so this one over here is just the key value. You can assume that in the actual implementation, the data value should also be stored in the node, but just that for illustration, we don't really list them. And can you actually, before that, you can see we got a circle over here. For the circle, that means it's internal node. Whereas for the square over here, so these are the external nodes. So that'll be our convention for constructing the binary search tree. We'll see more implementation detail a little bit later. But for now, just remember, for you to do in order traversal, you can simply ignore the external nodes. Only focus more on the internal nodes, which got exactly 2 children. And you can see in this particular representation, it's guaranteed our tree, binary tree, is actually proper. If you just recall the definition of being a proper binary tree, every internal nodes over here got exactly 2 children, right? You can see this one here also got 2 children, and this one over here also got 2 children, and etc. You can now pause the video and try to work out the sequence that will be generated from an in order traversal of this particular binary tree. Alrighty, assuming that you have done that, why don't we take a look at the result that you might have. Let's take a look. So I'm going to write it down over here. It's going to be 8. Oh, let me just write. So this will be in order traversal. In order traversal. Okay, and the sequence of keys that's going to be generated will be 8, 17, 21, 28, 32. So we spoke about the various terminologies and properties for the general tree and binary tree. And let's now move on to a more specialized kind of a binary tree, which is called binary search tree. And apparently, just for the literal meaning, what's really additional over here is about a search. And more specifically, the search over here talks about something called search property that a binary tree need to satisfy in order to be a binary search tree, or BST for short. And just keep in mind, the main thing we really want to get straight at the first, which I'm going to talk about, will be what exactly is a search property in order for a binary tree to be satisfied, in order to be a binary search tree. That'll be the tip I will give to you at first. And as usual, let's talk about the learning outcomes for the lecture. And we're hoping that you'll learn about, like what I said, binary search tree, or BST for short, is binary tree such that it satisfies the search property. And we're going to talk about the search property in just a moment. It has to be defined recursively, given that the structure for the binary tree, like in the case of general tree, is simply just recursive. And we're going to learn about how to implement a generic binary search tree in Java. And I'm going to sort of using a extended version of the general tree definition, the tree node that we spoke about earlier in the previous lecture. We're going to talk about it. And we're going to talk about the various operations you can perform on the binary search tree. Namely, you want to be able to add something into it, remove something into it, remove something from that, or you may just want to search something from the tree. So these are the three basic operations, quite conceivable. Right, so we're going to talk about searching, insertion, and also deletion. In the case of the searching, I will walk through the entire working implementation together with you, and also talk about visualization for tracing and also running time. We'll do the complete exercise together. However, in the case of the insertion and deletion, I will only walk through some sketch of the implementation together with you. I wouldn't give you the Java code, but we'll leave some placeholders in the source code I'm going to make available to you. In that case, you should really complete the exercises on your own to really see how you can implement these two operations about insertion and deletion on the binary tree recursively. That's some exercise you ought to do for the best of your learning. Okay, I'm going to leave that to you. Let's now talk about the recursive definition of the so-called search property on a binary tree. And let's now go over the bullet points to know about the definition, and we're going to exemplify the property on some example binaries tree. A binary search tree, BST for short, is a binary tree satisfying the search property, which is defined as follows, recursively. We want to say each internal node P stores an entry. So now we are talking about for every node in the binary search tree or binary tree that we're talking about in our context. Every node is going to store not just the element as we did in the general tree or in a link node. For the either singly linked node or doubly linked node, it's more than just the element value. We also store another value, which is called the search key. So that's why it's a key value pair. This is something that will be much more concrete when we actually talk about the implementation. I will remember to emphasize again, but now just remember in principle, whenever you want to talk about searching into the tree, it should be that there is separate two components for each node. One will be the search key. The key is really for searching purpose only, and the other one is about the data objects, like the elements value in the previous discussion about the tree node, general tree node, or the link node. And such that. And so here, when we talk about the search property, we only try to compare the key value. That's also very important for you to note. Whenever we talk about searching into some search tree, like a binary search tree, we only try to search based on the key value in the from the input and also against the key value for every internal nodes. We don't talk about the actual data objects. We don't normally search based on the data object value. That's something you will see as well when we try to do the search operation on a binary search tree. That's some important concept I'd like to clarify right in the beginning. So for each node in the left subtree, you can see for each node. In that case, the most convenient one to find out would be to really try to make a recursive call to see if every subtree rooted as some node will actually satisfy the search property. That's something I'll illustrate to you. Right, so every node in the left subtree of P, it should be that the key of the node should be strictly less than the key of its parents. You can think about the P is like the parents over here. The second one is for every child node N in the right subtree. It should be the case that the key of the child node should be strictly larger than the key of the parents. Right? So we might just need to visualize this a bit together. And the best way to think about it abstractly is by using this diagram. Let me try to do a little bit annotation on this diagram, and then we'll see some example as well. Let's now take a look at this abstract definition diagram over here, and then we're going to use this example binary tree to illustrate the search property. That'll be the plan. And for this root over here, let me emphasize, it doesn't necessarily have to be the absolute root of the binary tree. It could be, for example, this root over here, that's internal. It could be this root over here, that's internal. Every internal node should be applied the search property. That's why we said it's a recursive definition. Let me annotate this quickly. So think about this part over here is some internal node. This is some internal node. And let me also clarify about the diagram over here. And for our convention for discussing the search tree or binary tree, and we'll make it much more concrete when we talk about the implementation. But just remember for now, the way we represent internal nodes is by using a circle over here. And then we're going to also say for every internal node over here, it might be that its two children might just be external, in which case we're going to represent the external node using square in the diagram. So this has certain advantage of simplifying the logic for our algorithm on the binary tree or binary search tree. Pretty much like we use the header and trailer, the sentinels. Remember the sentinels or guarding nodes for the doubly linked node when we spoke about the linear structure earlier. But I'll address a little bit more about this when we get to the implementation. But for now, just remember, whenever you see some nodes in for the binary tree or binary search tree, the value we put over here may not necessarily just be the data value, like elements. In this case, since we are going to demonstrate about the search property, or whenever we want to do searches, in that case, the value over here might just be the search key. Okay, the 44 over here is actually just the search key. It doesn't really mean the value, data element value doesn't exist. It exists, it's simply just ignored from our illustration because they're not so relevant. Search key. And to be complete, for every internal nodes, what we're talking about, there should be two components. One will be the key of the node, and the other one will be the value of the node. Right? So what we are talking about right now, that's shown in the diagram, is just the search key 44 and also key over here. Typically, the search key should be just numerical values. In general, it could be some objects, but we'll get to that discussion maybe later when we talk about maybe hash table or map, ADT, maybe for later. For now, you can simply assume whenever we talk about search key for the binary search tree, it's simply just numerical value. Right? For every internal node, it simply store the key and also the data value. So this one here, let me just emphasize again, this one here is analogous to the element value for the tree nodes or the link node. This one is similar to the elements. Should be generic type, of course, in the tree node, which we spoke about last week, and also a singly linked node or doubly linked node as well. Alrighty, and what's going to be so important about a search property? So given this internal node, we want to say for its left subtree over here, which can be arbitrarily complicated. Remember, we talked about the recursive definition for the binary tree. In this case, this left subtree over here could be empty, could be one node, and could be arbitrary number of nodes. And similarly for the right subtree as well. And what we say is, each node in this particular left subtree, let me just annotate it. Let's say this will be the left subtree. And the property is, we want to say each of the nodes in the left subtree, including the root and every node in the tree, all the way to the bottom. Every node over there should be such that the key of the node should be strictly less than the key of the parents, which is over here, the parents. Let me just maybe use purple, since I'm using purple over there. Right, this one here, right? So you can see the correspondence over here. Okay, I can definitely draw better, like this. Okay, let me just try one more time. Okay, good. So the key over here is the key over here for the root. We want to say whatever node we are talking about, the key must be strictly less than the key over here. Symmetrically, we talk about every node in the right subtree, which I'm going to use pink. And this will be the right subtree over here. And we want to say every node in the right subtree the key of that node should be strictly larger than, right? It's the opposite for the relation, right? For the inequality. That one should be strictly larger than the key of the parents. All right, so that's a definition. Let's see how we can apply this definition recursively, right? Let me start from, let's say the node over here is the absolute root for the tree, right? Let's say, just as a first example. Think about this part over here is the left subtree, okay? This part over here is the left subtree, okay? And this part over here is the right subtree. Okay, let's see how well we can do. Okay, it's not too bad, right? Right, think about this part over here is a left subtree, and this part here is a right subtree. Is it true that every node over here, every key over here we are showing is strictly less than 44? It is. 8, 17, 32, 28, 21, and 29, all strictly less than 44. And for the right subtree over here, is it true that every node in the tree, the key of every node in this subtree over here is strictly larger than the key of the root? Indeed. For 54, 65, 82, 76, and etc., every node is strictly larger than 44. So what we have just demonstrated is the search property holds for this particular root. And we should definitely apply the search property for every internals, including, for example, I will show you one more. And we should definitely still apply the search property maybe to, let's say, this particular root, 65, right? Apparently 65 is actually internal. In that case, what will be the left subtree? The left subtree will be exactly over here, right? You can see here. I'll try to draw it, maybe draw a little bit differently. And what about right subtree? Will be exactly over here. And it's now the search property still holding for this particular root. So 65 is like a root over here. And we want to say the key of every node in the left subtree must be strictly less than the key of this root. 54 is the only node. 54 is strictly less than 65. Good. What about this right subtree over here? The key for every node, 76, 82, 80, and also that's it. They are all strictly larger than 65.